Hey everyone, how's it going? So what am I working on now? Actually not working on anything. Working on making a video. A thank you video, because I got to thank a bunch of you out there. I've had people that have been sending me stuff and tools and different types of equipment and stuff like that. And I've had people stop at the shop, and I got to thank everybody. I'll start with the oldest thing first here. A gentleman named Ed had reached out to me and he sent me a tool. Now, Ed had also sent me a letter and a picture of his toolbox, which is really cool. And unfortunately, Ed, I lost your contact information when my email had gotten hacked. So if you could reach out to me again, I'd really appreciate it. What Ed sent me was a photo of his, basically it's a Bel Air toolbox from Snap-on. Let me show you the picture. Gorgeous toolbox. I mean, these things they're like works of art. They're so beautiful. Amazingly beautiful box. And so he sent me that, and he also sent me this letter. And he was saying how, from back in '92 when he first stepped onto a Snap-on box, he knew that there'd be no turning back. And it's funny how his wife doesn't agree. But you mechanics out there that have dealt with Snap-on and Matco and others, I'm not a fan of Mac, so I'll just leave it at that. Personal thing. But anyway, you get used to a tool guy showing up, and Snap-on, they show up every single week, and yes, their tools are expensive, but yes, they do have extremely good tools. And back in the day when Ed and I pretty much started, this was about 8 years after I actually started, and back then you didn't have Harbor Freight, or you did, but it was mail order, and it was really cheap tools. Nowadays, they actually make a decent tool, good enough to use in a shop situation. Back then, you wouldn't want to do it. So basically, you had Craftsman and you had Snap-on back then. You had some other miscellaneous stuff that you could get at your local hardware store or whatever, but that's neither here nor there. So anyway, Ed sends me a tool. I'm going to make a separate video on this. So even if you know what this is, don't chime in. I know what the tool is. It's an oddball tool. It's a very specific tool, though. It's cool. It's really cool. Let me show you what it is. So here it is. Okay? Look at the end of that. Now, if you look up top here, it has this that rotates. And it rotates down inside there. Now, this also telescopes. So it comes out like this. And see? Now, you could put on the end there a socket, obviously would have to fit inside the hole. That's a 3/8 drive. And actually, let me show you with, this isn't necessarily the socket that would go on it, but it would if this is something that you needed. If I can get it on there. I'm doing this one-handed. See that? So now, when you're turning this end, which has a square drive 3/8, it's going to turn that end. This would probably have a square drive, or you could put like a flathead style, anything like that on there. Probably have a female square though for what this is actually supposed to be used for. I blocked the tool number, but there you can see it is a Snap-on. Now here, you can see it's got a nice little counter. See that? Pretty cool. Because you need to count number of revolutions. So there you have about a half a revolution. There's half right there. And there's one. So that way you know you went one turn, especially if it's a situation that tell you to turn at 2.5 turns or 2 1/4 turns. You can look at that and tell. So like I said, I know what this is for. And if you guys know what it is, just wait till I make the other video about this, because I'm going to have a little bit of a contest, and then I'm going to draw somebody at random. All right, so that's one thing. Next thing, I have to write everything down, so I apologize for looking away. Scott Anderson sent me some funnels. These are pretty neat little funnels. They're collapsible. And they have this little cutout here, so you can actually stick your, like if you have your quart of oil or whatever, you can actually stick it in the end there and it'll hold it depending on the angle. I'm assuming this end will fold out. But the reason for that is so you can, let basically the oil bottle just drip out. I'm going to take 2 of these to work. I'm going to keep 2 of them here. So there's that. The next one, Maurice Playford. He also likes to go by Mo. I understand that. I've worked with a Mo. He sent me a nice little letter here. I won't go into details on the letter. Basically just talking about his desert racing and stuff like that. And let me show you some pictures that he sent me. There, that must be his desert car, obviously. Doing some desert racing. That's pretty darn cool, I will say that. Always wanted to go and watch these guys race, as it looks pretty interesting. That is pretty cool. I love stuff like that. So Maurice sent me a bunch of stuff, and I want to show you what it is. Actually, let me shut my light off here. So, an inline spark checker kit. Thank you. I'll tell you what, this comes in handy, and I'm pretty darn sure you can get this off of Amazon. What I'll do is I'll put a link down in the description for this if you guys are interested. I'll put links to anything I can find that you would find on Amazon. I'll put that down in the description, so this way you can just click on it if you want to actually see what it is. These come in super handy. This is the same kit that I have in my toolbox at work. This is a very good kit. It works very well. So thank you for that. The kit that I have at work, it's older. It's falling apart. I've had it for, I don't know, good 12, 15 years, maybe better. So, stuff does have a shelf life, especially if you use it a lot. And this tool, you do use a lot. The other things that came in were these 2 extension cables, which is really awesome because I already got 1 extension cable from Brother Bob, and I took that to work. That comes in super handy. Now I have extension cables, and I can double up on them, and I can use these here at the shop that I have at home. And I think that was it, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, that was everything. So that's way cool. Definitely stuff that's going to come in handy. I want to say there was something else in there for some reason, and I might have misplaced it. But I'll double check. Let me put this down, and let me look at some other stuff here. Hang on one second. Now, I also had somebody reach out to me, and they asked me if I received a package from Temu. And I said, yes, I had. Problem is, that was through that same email, and I lost all your contact information. I apologize for that. Unfortunately, it happened. But here it is. Here's the stuff that gentleman sent me. And let me show you this real quick. This is pretty cool. Now I'm going to take 2 of these to work. He sent me 4 of these. What these are for Schrader valves, like tire valves and stuff like that. That end, you could take it out. That end, you can clean up and kind of rethread the inner portion where the actual Schrader valve goes into. That outer portion there, you could use that to clean up the threads on a cap, especially if you use like a brass cap or a metal cap that screws on. Sometimes the threads get boogered up. You can use that to clean it up. Also, what you can do is for a tire valve, you can actually thread that onto the tire valve and actually grab both ends of this, kind of like this, as a pull, and then pull the tire valve into place. These come in super handy. Also, what he sent me was this. This is a boroscope that plugs into your phone via the little USB connections, which is pretty darn awesome. So I'm going to enjoy working with this. I have one of these at work. I may retire the one from work and bring home and use this. I'm going to have to look and see how this thing actually works. The other thing he sent me was these, and I was like, what the heck is this? I couldn't figure this out. So I'm looking at it, and it's these little plasticky plugs. They're actually kind of almost like a hard rubber or a soft plastic, and they got like a glue on the outside of them. There's 2 different sizes. There's a larger one and a smaller one. Well, I looked them up. Believe it or not, those are tire plugs. You got a nail in your tire, you pull the nail out, use a screwdriver and screw this in. Pretty neat. How well they work, I don't know, but I'm going to find out because I'm going to try them. I enjoy stuff like this. This is cool. This is something different that I've never used before. I can't wait to actually try it. The other thing that he sent me, which I'm really psyched about, is this. It's a torque wrench. Because I actually don't have any torque wrenches at home. But here you got a couple of spark plug sockets, I believe they are. I'm not 100% positive, but I believe that's what these are. And that should be like a 9/16 style, or 14 millimeter. Yep, 9/16, it's 14 millimeter. An extension. It's an interesting design swivel. I've actually never seen that design before. That's pretty cool. And then here itself is the torque wrench. And it looks like a pretty decent little quality. Like I said, I don't have a torque wrench at home, so this will definitely come in handy. This is a 3/8, so you're not going to go crazy. The only thing is, this is Newton meters, so I got to convert it from Newton meters to foot pounds, because most of the stuff here obviously is in foot pounds. Not a big deal. So, okay, that's really cool. I do appreciate that. Let me put this down. Now, somebody else had sent me this, and I don't recall if it was the same package or two separate packages. These are tip cleaners for, like, welding stuff. Let me open this up. It's kind of hard to do it one-handed. But these are tip cleaners, if you don't know what they are. I actually already used this today to clean the end of the garden hose tip, because it got the little sprayer end, it got clogged up with sediment. So I used this to clean it. But these are actually designed for torches and welders and stuff like that. Excuse me. Come in handy for so many different things. And here are little, like, barrel brushes, or to get into like little tiny holes to clean things up. You can also use this for very fine threads, the female threads, to clean them up. Very handy. I don't know who sent me this. There was no information at all in this. And then also, I had done that video on battery terminals, and I said I didn't have a battery terminal cleaner here, and then this shows up. So somebody sent me this. I don't know who it was. I thank you. If you would like to chime in and sorry, I'm losing my mind here. If you would like to chime in and let me know it was you, I'd appreciate it. These pads, I've honestly never used these pads before. I've seen them, never used them. So, do they work? I don't know. They're supposed to absorb basically the sweat that comes through where the battery post, excuse me, and the terminal come together, or battery post and the case of the battery come together, because you can get leaching through there, and this is supposed to help absorb that so you don't get corrosion all over the battery. So maybe something that I now have to start using. So, but pretty cool. I do appreciate that. Now also, I get people that show up at the shop every once in a blue moon, which I do appreciate. Obviously I'm working, but it's okay. I could take some time off. It's not a big deal. But yeah, so back on, I guess it was Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday. I'm not 100% positive. Greg Versace stopped by at the shop, and he brought me a care package, so to speak. And I really appreciate it. This is really cool. And it's all stuff I can use. I mean, I always appreciate tools and stuff that I can use. And some people say, oh, I know it's not Snap-on or something like that. But you know what? No, it's awesome, because I use anything and everything. And anything and everything has its place, and it comes in handy. I tell you, he brought me rubber gloves. I don't use rubber gloves often. I do use them in the winter. But I tell you what, when you need rubber gloves, they come in handy, especially when you're doing a really greasy job. I was actually using rubber gloves just the other day. But here, let me show you. So he gave me 4 packs of these Microflex rubber gloves, examination gloves. Perfect. I'm going to need them here at home. I don't have any at home. Actually, I have them all at work. And then he gave me this. Check this out. Milwaukee Pack Out. This is an awesome little case here. Got an awesome headlight. That thing looks like it's bright as all get out, too. We're going to find out pretty soon, actually, because I'm going to put this thing together. 3-in-1 headlamp, flashlight, and magnet light. Cool. All right. He gave me a setup of zip ties. If you're a mechanic, you know how handy zip ties are. All right, let's keep looking. Like a little bit of Christmas all over here. Oh, that's awesome. Markers. Can always use markers. Markers always come in handy. Always come in handy. Awesome. I love markers. All right, this is just like the, I guess the instructions for this pack out here. Awesome stuff. Let's see. A little pocket mini mag light. That's awesome. Can always use that. Another, oops, hold on, let me just put this down here. Another marker, right? Yeah, this is, oh, this is in yellow. It's a paint pen. Oh, man, I can't tell you how good paint pen, a good paint pen comes in super handy. I usually have at least 2 or 3 at work. They come in super handy. If you don't have any paint markers, get yourself some. Milwaukee has them. Even if, like, you can even go to, like, Michael's stores or Hobby Lobby, stuff like that. Even Walmart, you know, and you can buy paint pens. Super handy. I really appreciate that. That's great. Let's see, what else do we have here? Whoops. Oh, check that out. Way cool. Nice heavy-duty flashlight. Oh, and it's a snap-on. Oh, awesome. That's awesome. Okay. Gonna have to get some D-cells for that. That's a heavy bad boy right there. Let's see. Yes. High leverage handle, magnet tipped. Oh, these are magnet tips too. Oh, that's awesome. Because I actually don't have a good set. I have a bric-a-brac mix match set of screwdrivers here in my home garage, which I got to clean up. I've been still moving stuff in. Like, we were at the storage unit yesterday. I'm moving stuff in, so it's just like I still got to straighten this out. But yeah, this is awesome. This is going to go into my toolbox right there, which, as you can see, I got more junk on top of it. Oh, heavy-duty reloadable utility knife. That's awesome. I was actually, believe it or not, just today, I was going nuts looking for a utility knife. I'm like, I know I got one. Where the heck is it? Now I got one. All right. This one has to go into a specific spot in my toolbox so I know I don't lose it. And finally, extendable tip screwdrivers. That's cool. These are minis. That's absolutely awesome. 3 little teeny tiny flatheads and then a Phillips. All stuff that's going to come in super, super handy. Guys, I can't thank you enough. I mean, you're awesome. You really are. What more can I say? But, you know, thank you. It's overwhelming sometimes how generous everybody is. I do appreciate it. You know, there's not much more I can say about it. But yeah, like I said, for those of you that have messaged me in the past on the Wrenching with Kenny at Gmail, message me again. Of course, I'm going to get overwhelmed right away, which I usually do, but I will be getting to them this week. That's pretty much it. I just wanted to go over all of this. I may have something else in the house that I missed for this video. Hopefully I didn't, but I think I may have, and everything's still in boxes, and we're still unpacking almost daily. But yeah, all right. So that's about it. All right, guys, have a great day. And thank you. Keep wrenching.